Alright guys, welcome to another video. Got some inspiration from watching Andrew Chang's roster update. Just going over like his roster and where he's at in the game, and watching those type of videos really you learn a lot just watching seasoned players and players who really want to compete at the highest level in the game. Um, Seeing them play the game and seeing what ideas and strategies they use to be effective is kind of them kind of letting you into their personal nuance of how they play the game. And I just got some inspiration from watching this video, and I figured I do the same and show you my roster and the teams that I used during wars and new strategies. So I did want to talk about, a few things while I'm doing kind of doing this video. So I probably have over, I want to say 250, um, you know, ascended, 5-star heroes, give or take. Roughly, I want to say, maybe about 20, but let's say about 200 of them. I want to say about 180 to 200 of them is over 85. And I want to say about, let's say, about 100 of them are at, um, yeah, about 100 is over 90, level 90. Whether or not they still had emblems or not, it really depends on usefulness in the meta. But, you know, I learned from, I think it was Colonel Lugnuts or somebody else who just kind of had a different strategy of just using resets and taking emblems off units that just don't seem to be getting much of use. Zynga, SG, whomever just aren't dedicating time, resources, artwork into those heroes to get them back into the meta. Um, so I started just realizing at this point, they're not getting any costumes. They're not getting significant buffs. So just started pulling some emblems from there, and then sticking onto newer heroes, so that I can use them for different strategies and wars, and tournaments and things of that nature. I predominantly focus on 5-star heroes. Not wasn't a big fan of 3-star, 4-star events. They don't release a lot of 3-star and 4-star heroes. Um, so I guess in that space, just if you have the heroes in 3-star and 4-star, you can just utilize a lot of materials and kind of just dominate that meta. And I think anybody can dominate that space. So it's not really competitive. It doesn't really change too much. So if you want to see what SG would kind of look like if they only released um, a few heroes ever so often, like the 3-star, 4-star tournaments and things of that nature is, kind of where that game is at. So here are my recent additions. I've got recently got Gasol costume. Um, kind of in the process of trying to figure out. I actually use tokens to finish off the expensive nodes back in the day. And now I have to make a debate on whether or not I want to reset um, Gasol to redo the costume, where I've seen that he can get, I think, over 1500 attack. Also finished and got Scroll Beast, Meta, a second Grim Steel, Humbert, um, was it Demunlini, whatever his name is, Shimmer Scale, Ooh-wee, I like that name, Ooh-wee. Um, Versus, I think I've had for a bit when the portal first when he first appeared, and I got him. Didn't level him up until after they did the buffs on the owls. I think it was like 2 updates ago. And then Force's costume. Um, I think that's really it in terms of new additions in the last, I think, 2 months or so. Um, oh, and Lodius. Yeah, I recently got Lodius in the last 2 months. Um, that being said, you know, some of my newer additions, prioritize teams here that I'm working on. Solstice was very, 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 very bad for me in terms of summoning, and as a result, I've taken a step back in terms of summoning in the game. Literally got Davy Wavy, Mazoga, and I didn't get the yellow newest one in the summer portal, but I got all these from Solstice. So I've just been focusing on leveling. I have a lot of decent duplicates, and speaking to my buddy Justin Sage, who's been kind of in the cheap for play, really free for play strategy for some time now. Just realized, hey, I got some decent amount of heroes. Would love to get the the meta contending heroes. But at this point, I think SG's just been doing a very poor job in um, making the game friendly for players joining. It is just strictly on profit mode. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, just gonna build with what I have. I got lucky on the Covenant, not Covenant, Monster Island portal for Ruda. I thought he was probably the best one that I've seen. Priority Dispel, 400 attack to all. Has a modifier increase, and then some buffs. Anxious to see. I'm trying to get him done for the next very fast rounds of very fast war because I'm anxious to see what um, he can really do in the meta, and then get him on some teams offensively as well. Try to incorporating a lot of slow heroes into my offensive teams and lineups. So excited for him. Mazoga, um, curious to know if anybody's tried this, but I want to know if her defense down triggers Pepper Flame or Starwalker. Really would like to get some use out of my Starwalkers at this point. So, I saw that she had a defense down. I have a chance to play around with it, and really don't feel like wasting energy to kind of field test them. Um, Davy Wavy um, didn't look too impressive to me. Seems more like of a defensive hero, where you can get you can set him off, and then once you get him off, you know, being hit direct damage from special skill. So if you go up against very fast teams, if you can get him to go, he should be able to keep you survive with him in a big healer, where he keeps adding in the boosted health, gets the buffs in, gets you mana generation charge. So I think he's a decent hero. You just have to figure out if you have the right kind of teams to stick with him. Um, should be pretty solid. So also was able to pull Sakina's costume. I had strip emblems off of him originally, um, and kind of segues into one of my issues with the game. When they did the recent buffs, I had looked at the costume bonuses and I made a comment. I don't think I ever did put a video out there. Oh no, I did. One of the criticisms that I had was that SG knows what these numbers should look like for a hero to rejoin the meta, and looking at the buffs on these heroes the ones that they give costumes recently are nowhere close to Dio Chan's and this guy, right? So let's just take a look at the leaderboard, and you can see that his costume bonus is exactly where I said the other costumes need to be competitive, right? Roughly about 35% minimum offense, defense, 45% health, right? Now, when I said that, I meant it for the heroes that are older, 2017, 2018, season 2, season 3. Those guys need this type of buff, right? And as you can see, at 31k health, 3.1k health, right? At 1700 defense, these guys are monstrous. And so now, you look at him, you look at Daya-chan, right? And you see these monstrous numbers that they have after a costume, right? And you look at these, and now let's go back to my roster here. I think my Daya-chan is somewhere um, in here. Somewhere in the um, she's in the 85s. Look how low she is, right? This is at 85. There's a 600-point jump with the costume and the bonuses. So you take off what, 180, I think, defensively if she's if she's master emblem, right? So take off 180 and she's probably like 14 and change. Somewhere, yeah, somewhere in like the 1400s in her defense, right? But this automatically catapults her to being meta relevant defensively simply by giving her a costume with the proper percentage of stat boost. Um, and you can only imagine of the other heroes, if they do get costumes inside of this family, how strong and effectively they can be on that side. With that amount of HP boost with their minions, and the fact that their minions do not can't be destroyed because they have that passive effect, and I would assume they would keep the trend of the passive effect. That is ridiculously strong, and I felt that they could have done the same thing to some of these families that have recently came out or came out around the same time as Dio-chan. Like they didn't get that sort of treatment, that level of love. Um, and I'm baffled why they didn't. Um, really didn't make any much sense to me. Even White Rabbit, you know, 40% health. Yes, health is relevant, but the attack and defense is not 35%. 35% defense for White Rabbit, really thrusts him back into the game, and teams can use him. Look at Frake, right? Um, this is 35%. She's only at 2K health. Um, Probably push that up. She's probably at 22, 23. I think if she goes to 90. But her offense is a bit abysmal. Um, she needs to stack a little bit higher. Her base damage needs to be a bit higher in order for her to be relevant. I would love to see, a lot of these heroes really compete in the meta um, by simply, you know, just being able to team up with some of the newer heroes. I find that when you have that type of synergy, it makes the game a lot more fun because then offensively and defensively you can kind of mix up what you kind of throw out there. Let's just look at some of my the teams that I'm building here. So still in the midst of rebuilding. My buddy Justin Sage just got back on the game. Usually he and I kind of put a lot of um, strategy into team building. Um, so I've been testing a few of these teams here. These teams typically I've used against a lot of the meta contending um, strategies with at least um, an 85% win ratio. I've find it that if you go 2-3 fully offensive, if you notice with my red line up here, um, my purple line up here, and two support units, um, different colors preferably. So it's like a 3-1-1. It gives you enough flexibility on the boards to kind of survive. You really want um, mana boosting if you don't have a bard on your team, to get your guys to charge. And then you want a lot of synergy with your offensive units. You want them to be, all fast, all average, charge at the same time. You can use them to stagger. That I noticed. At one point, I was using Leonidas's um, elemental down costume with June and another offensive hero to try to kind of break through. Um, where I would fire June first, um, wait you know wait till I could get some more tiles on the board, then fire Leonidas, then run my tiles, then run another June hit and kind of eliminate a target. But with the minions and the buff and the speeds of Diachan, and their her ability to charge herself and the W3K heroes much quicker. It's been a struggle, and I've been trying to revamp my yellow team. I don't really have season one dupes, so if you have any recommendations on teams that you've run with yellows, feel free to post in the comments, and you know I'll definitely take a look at that. Um, and I think green, 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 purple, and then my blue team is going to be um, Grimsteel, Richard, um, and Timaeus. And this is what I mean where you have heroes of different speeds, because Timaeus is fast, and he typically is going to hit first anyway, because typically you want to dispel with him. Um, Richard just hits very, very hard. Hits like a hammer, no pun intended. Um, so you just want to dispel any buffs off the heroes and whack them with Richard. And then Grimsteel is slow, but once you're wading into the battle, he heals, and once Richard and Timaeus can clear a path for you to kind of ghost tiles, this setup kind of gets to the point where Timaeus is hitting for 1500 flat, and Richard is coming in and whacking for somewhere over 1800 or so, if they have no buffs on them and things of that nature. So really like this setup. Um, and then I've been running 4-1 with this lineup, but I am looking at additional support units to help some survivability with the team. I could put a Carta, probably go with him, since he also mana buffs, and this is a relatively slow team. Um, and then probably gonna go with a yellow. Um, very fast buffer, or I can go with Meg. Just need to look at the dynamic of this team. Um, ah, Another one is Reese. All the same, different family types. So 5, um, you know, quicker mana charge, heal, overheal, cleanse, um, dispel. Pretty much have all your basics here covered. I'll switch these two. Um, and then, yeah, you need this because I want to bigger heal. See if I can take it for a raid test run. Okay. Alright. So we're going to make sure that they can't, um, he can't do his funny stuff. Okay. Okay, we're going to buff. We're going to hammer this side. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do on this side and whether or not he's going to die. So I'd rather not take the chance. Okay. And this is what I mean. Once, you clear that hole, and then Richard just come in and pretty much wipe out this side. Yeah, that was a bad move. Ta 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 ta. Oh, I'm so shocked. So accustomed to him always just firing 10,000 arrows whenever my team is ch- charged at that state. So, okay. And we're going to. I think he's maxed. Nope, he's not maxed. Could have got some more damage out of that. All right, yeah. So, that's kind of my strategy for team building. If you don't have a um, a growth hero, so you you're gonna need that at the highest level of gameplay. Um, you know, if you notice, most of the teams here have a growth. If you don't have a growth, you need to just have enough firepower to just blast through the teams. Um, so yeah, I'm looking at strategies where I think for one of my other teams that I want to build is going to be two support units. So it's going to be my other Pepper, um, where she's just um, supporting from a standpoint of um, growing the other offensive heroes of the opposite color, allowing them to do um, more damage. Trying to see how I would do this. I want to do it like some very fast um, type of guys. So I'm gonna run. Who's another good, like very fast um, hero this would greatly affect. Let's go here, and then just round out the rest of the team with support units, either yellow or purple. So I know Pepperfin does defense down, so Adil could come and do some additional damage. Ramona, Odile will heal. Oh, Dark Feather. Okay, perfect. So Dark Feather's here, she's here, here. Okay, high offensive. Let's throw this into a raid battle. Yeah, at this point, I almost don't care what the setup is now because it's just a matter of executing your strategy before they execute theirs. So I'll have blues. Pepper is close. Okay, this should make those two fire. Okay, so I'm going to blast pepper, hit this. Okay, I have a lot of options here. Um, does Ramona hit 3? No, she's just a target hit. Um, he has too much survivability. Um, so I'm gonna just take him out. Ugh, jerk. Okay. You know, that was dumb execution on my part because I could have simply popped that, had O'Deal, had her ready to fire, and would have gotten a bigger defense buff. That was poor execution on my side. Um, do we have a cascade set up? Should be kill him off out of there. Alright, now we have Dark Feather ready to go, and we can whittle down Richard with double support. Yeah, I feel the growth makes um the difference in master emblems um more bearable. Um where if you don't have it, like you're really struggling. I think 3-1-1 is the best strategy for this current meta. Um because you want, like, you can't have so many dead tiles, tiles just falling down and not doing anything in this game right now. Like you need your tiles to be doing at least a little bit of damage. No insanity. All right, buff. Um, let's go this way. Hate to lose it, but we need to get her. Need to get her out of here. Okay. No. All right. I think our sanity was still up. It's a lot of Rams. Another thing is, with Shimmer Scale, with and a defense down hero makes it, those hits from a deal with the defense down hurt. The mega minion hit hurt. Where you can just, you have additional sources of damage to help wither down these like 3,000 point, you know, defenses. Um, yeah, so that's it. Going back in the lab with my buddy Sage, to look at potentially building out a few more teams just so, I have some flexibility. Um, when different strategies come up for war. So yeah, I'm gonna be out here, building the last few, getting them into the lab, testing them against, have Sage test against meta relevant defenses, seeing how we stack up. Um, and I guess we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.